It is Sunday morning. You have just completed a grueling 67-hour work week. You have handled every corporate crisis, paid every mounting bill, and navigated the emotional minefield of daily life. You finally sit down on the couch, turn on the game, and crack open a cold beer. You feel the first sense of peace you have had in 7 days. But within 5 minutes, you hear it. It starts with that specific sigh, the one that carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken accusations. Then comes the tone. Must be nice to relax while I'm doing everything? You were not even relaxed for 5 full minutes before your rest became a crime. This is a scene played out in millions of homes, and it points to a disturbing reality. Some partners genuinely cannot handle seeing a man at peace. To certain individuals, a man who is not actively producing, fixing, or serving is a man who is failing. The irritation some women feel when men rest is not logical. It is visceral. It is a biological mismatch that triggers a primal anxiety. When you sleep in on Saturday after working overtime, she suddenly finds a reason to bang pots in the kitchen. When you watch a 20-minute video on YouTube, she suddenly discovers 17 urgent tasks that must be done this second. When you take a nap, the vacuum cleaner magically appears right outside your bedroom door. It is not about what needs doing. It is about the fact that you are not doing. The timekeepers of tiredness. I had a client whose wife would literally time his relaxation. If he sat down for more than 15 minutes, she would find something for him to do. It was never truly urgent. It was trash that could wait until tomorrow. It was groceries that were already in the pantry. It was projects that did not exist 5 minutes prior. This man worked in heavy construction, literally breaking his back to provide a lifestyle she enjoyed. Yet, those 30 minutes on the couch were treated as an act of treason. She worked part-time in retail, but somehow, his physiological need for recovery was seen as an affront to her world. The insults that follow are often soft and feminizing. They are designed to hit the center of masculine insecurity. Real men do not need naps. My ex never sat around like this. I guess you are too tired to be a man today. These are not random outbursts. They are precisely targeted psychological strikes. They are meant to make you feel that rest equals weakness, and that your value as a human being is strictly tied to your utility as a machine. The collapse of the equality myth. This is where the modern conversation about equality collapses completely. We live in an era that preaches the breaking of gender roles, yet many individuals get deeply uncomfortable when men enter traditionally female-coded spaces of relaxation. If you join a yoga class, it is weird. If you enjoy a spa day, it is suspicious. If you want to sleep in and have a quiet brunch, you are asked, "What kind of man are you?" The equality demanded is entirely selective. You are invited to share the burdens, the housework, the emotional labor, the child rearing, but you are not allowed to share the benefits. Rest has become coded as exclusively female territory. Relaxation, self-care, and taking it easy are marketed as things women deserve because of the complexities of their lives. But men? Men are expected to be perpetual motion machines. You must be always on, always producing, always building. When you dare to power down, you are trespassing on sacred ground that certain partners believe belongs only to them. Anxiety and the productivity trap. Why does your peace disturb her? For many women, a man's ambition is the primary signal of his masculine energy. The man who is moving, achieving, and building is attractive because he signals security. However, the resting man triggers a deep, subconscious anxiety. When you are still, she wonders if he is losing his edge. Is he becoming complacent? If he stops now, will he ever start again? Is he still the protector I need to feel safe in the world? Your relaxation threatens the narrative she needs to feel secure. The narrative that you are an unstoppable force that handles everything, so she never has to worry. To her, your rest looks like a malfunction in the system. The socially acceptable explanations given for this behavior are masterful deflections. "I just want us to be productive together" actually means, "I'm uncomfortable with you being still." "You are wasting your potential" translates to, "Your rest makes me anxious." "Your laziness affects the family" is code for, "Your peace disturbs my need for control." The freedom threat. Consider another client of mine. His girlfriend claimed his Sunday morning golf game was selfish and immature. This was a man who paid 100% of the bills, handled all home maintenance, and managed all the long-term investments. 4 hours of golf per week was apparently too much freedom. When he pointed out her daily 3-hour phone calls with friends, she claimed that was different because she was maintaining relationships. To her, his recreation was a waste of resources. Her recreation was work. The hidden motive here is control over a man's time, focus, and energy. A busy man is a controlled man. If you are exhausted, you are predictable. You are manageable. You are directed. But a resting man might think. He might question. He might realize that he does not actually need to run on this hamster wheel for a partner who does not respect his humanity. Some partners need you exhausted because exhausted men do not leave. They do not challenge the status quo. They are too tired to change the dynamic. The lottery test. I often give men a simple test. Ask your partner this hypothetical question. If I won the lottery tomorrow and never had to work another day in my life, would you be happy if I spent my days relaxing and pursuing my hobbies? Most men expect a yes. They think their partner would be thrilled that the financial stress is gone. But watch the reaction closely. Many women react with genuine horror. You would just do nothing. What about goals? What about your purpose? The money was never the issue. Your freedom is the issue. Some women do not actually want financial success if it means the man gets to use that success to buy back his own time. They want the resources, but they want those resources directed exclusively toward their vision of the future. If you make money to invest in her family, it is great. If you make money to buy the boat you have always wanted, it is selfish. The dehumanization of the provider. I have observed a pattern where some women actually prefer a man with less money if it means he is more occupied. A rich man with free time is dangerous to a controlling partner. He might develop interests or passions that do not revolve around her. But a struggling man working 2 jobs, he is too tired to cause problems. He is too busy to have other options. He is too exhausted to question if the relationship is actually serving him. Think of the literary examples like Dominique in The Fountainhead, who tries to destroy Howard Rourke because she cannot control his greatness. Some partners exhibit the same pattern. They would rather diminish you, keep you tired, kept, and small, than lose their influence over you. Your full potential is a threat to their centrality in your life. The sweet spot theory. There's a sweet spot theory in modern relationships. Certain partners want a man in a very specific zone. Successful but not independent. Strong but not self-directed. Capable but not autonomous. You are viewed like a well-trained horse. You are powerful and useful, but ultimately, you are controlled. The moment you step outside this zone, by being too relaxed or too ambitious for your own sake, the anxiety kicks in and the shaming begins. Partners who have not earned the relationship often feel the most threatened by male rest. The individual who brings very little to the table knows, on some level, that she is replaceable. If you ever slow down and think clearly, you might realize the trade-off is not worth it. Therefore, you cannot be allowed to slow down. You must stay busy, distracted, and tired. Your exhaustion is her security. The shame warfare. Quality partners support a man's need for recovery. They understand that a rested man is a better partner, a more present father, and a more effective provider. They see your relaxation as an investment. But certain individuals see your rest as theft. Every minute you spend on the couch is a minute you are not serving their needs. This is where the shame, guilt, and moral pressure tactics come in. This is psychological warfare. A good man would be fixing the stairs right now. A caring husband would spend his free time with the kids. A responsible father would be working overtime. Notice how rest is never a moral category in this framework. You are either working or you are failing. This conditioning eventually leads men to police themselves. You internalize the guilt. You cannot sit down without feeling lazy. You cannot enjoy a hobby without feeling selfish. You become your own warden, enforcing her rules on yourself long after she has left the room. The broken machine. When men get sick or injured, the mask often slips. Some partners see your injury as an inconvenience to them, not a concern for you. I counseled a man who broke his leg in a serious work accident. His wife's first response was not, "Are you okay?" or How can I help you heal? Her first response was, how long until you can go back to work? His physical pain was irrelevant to her. His productivity was everything. To her, he was not a human being who got hurt. He was a machine that broke down. And a machine that cannot work is just taking up space. This dehumanization is a direct result of the provider-only identity that society forces upon men. The coach manipulation. Some individuals believe it is their duty to toughen men up through constant pressure. They claim that rest makes you soft or comfort makes you weak. They see themselves as coaches, pushing you to greatness. But they aren't building strength, they are building numbness. They are exhausting you into compliance. True toughness is the ability to endure when necessary. But true wisdom is knowing when to recover. A man who never rests is not tough. He is just a candle burning at both ends, waiting for the inevitable heart attack. Cultural conditioning teaches people that they must shape men into providers. They are shown images of men who never stop, never bleed, and never need a break. So when they see a man at rest, it triggers a deep-seated fear that the system is failing. Hobbies as competition. For some partners, a man's independence is seen as a direct rival. She is not just competing with other women, she is competing with your motorcycle, your gym time, your video games, and your peace. Your hobbies are not seen as exercise or recovery, they are seen as attention stolen from her. I knew a couple where she systematically eliminated every single one of his interests. The gym was too expensive. Gaming was too childish. Sports were too time-consuming. Within 2 years, his only remaining hobby was serving her needs. When he finally left, she was shocked. "But I gave him everything," she cried. No, she took everything, including his fundamental right to his own time. The revolution of male rest. A male rest revolution is beginning. Men are starting to recognize these patterns and are finally protecting their peace. They are choosing jobs with work-life balance over higher pay. They are prioritizing their health over the accumulation of wealth for someone who does not respect them. The beneficiaries of male exhaustion are panicking. They call this a crisis of masculinity, but it is not a crisis, it is a conscious withdrawal from an exploitative dynamic. Rested men have options. Rested men have clarity. Rested men are harder to manipulate. If you are a man who has been shamed for sitting on the couch, understand that your rest is not a crime. It is a biological necessity. It is the foundation of your sanity. Any partner who begrudges you that rest does not love you. They love what you provide. Gaslighting the recovery. When men do attempt to reclaim their time, a new tactic emerges: gaslighting. When you need to rest, she might tell you that you are depressed or withdrawing. This is particularly insidious because it pathologizes a healthy need. You are not depressed, you are simply tired. You are not withdrawing from life, you are recovering so that you can face life again. You are not avoiding your responsibilities. You are ensuring that you have the energy to fulfill them. But by labeling your rest as a mental health issue, she maintains the moral authority to demand that you stay in motion. She becomes the concerned partner who is just trying to get you back on your feet, when in reality, she is just trying to get the machine running again. Hobbies and the fear of self-actualization. Why is there such a fear of male hobbies? Because hobbies create an identity outside of the relationship. A man with passions has a purpose beyond provision. A man with interests has a value that is not tied to his utility for her. This independence is terrifying to a partner who relies on your dependence. If you have a life that does not require her constant approval, you are a threat. You might realize that you are happy without the chaos. You might find a community of men who tell you that you deserve better. You might find a peace that makes her drama look exactly like what it is, a waste of time. The retirement test. Revelation of utility. If you want to know how your partner truly views you, talk about early retirement. Most men who bring this up report a reaction of anxiety, not joy. Even if the finances are secure, even if the children are grown, the idea of a man just resting is unacceptable to some. Because his rest was never about the money, it was about the control. A man who is retired is a man who owns himself. He is a man who cannot be threatened with the loss of his lifestyle or his status. He has won the game, and for a partner who thrives on the leverage of your labor, that is a defeat. The myth of male privilege in rest. The narrative that male rest is selfish completely ignores the reality of male sacrifice. Men work longer hours on average, commute further, and perform 95% of the most dangerous jobs. Men die younger than women in almost every society on Earth. Yet 30 minutes of peace is treated as an act of extreme selfishness. This is gaslighting at the highest level. The audacity of calling male rest selfish when men are literally working themselves into early graves to maintain the comfort of others is staggering. Some women even compete through their partner's exhaustion. They treat their husband's 80-hour work week like a badge of honor, but not for him, for them. Your suffering becomes their social currency, something they can trade for sympathy and status among their friends. Oh, my husband is never home. He is always working so hard for us. They would rather have a depleted provider than a rested partner, because the depleted provider makes for a better story. The double standard of decompression. The double standard regarding rest is massive. Her book club is an essential social connection. Your poker night is avoiding the family. Her spa day is critical self-care. Your fishing trip is abandonment. Her 3-hour Netflix binge is decompressing from a hard day. Your 1-hour video game session is an addiction. The rules are designed to apply only to you. Her rest is always justified because she performs emotional labor. Your rest is always a threat because it reduces your utility. You are expected to be the battery that never runs out, while she is the device that needs constant recharging. Suffering as a measure of love. In some broken relationship dynamics, suffering is used as a measure of love. These partners believe that if you are not suffering, you are not loving. The more depleted you are, the more you must care. The more you sacrifice your physical and mental well-being, the more devoted you are. Rest becomes a form of betrayal in this equation. If you are peaceful, you must not be thinking about her. If you are rested, you must not be working for her. It is a toxic cycle where the only way to prove your love is to destroy yourself. I once had a client whose wife kept a literal scorecard of his lazy moments. Every time he sat down, she made a note. Every nap was recorded as evidence for a future argument. He was working 2 jobs, but those 20 minutes on the couch were documented like a crime scene. Manipulating masculine energy. The masculine energy argument is often used as a tool of manipulation. I need you to be the man, and men don't rest, they say. But notice that they are the ones defining what being a man means. Conveniently, their definition always involves you serving their needs. Real masculinity includes the ability to set boundaries, the wisdom to recover, and the self-respect to say no. But those traits do not serve a partner who wants a servant. They want a provider robot, an automated system that inputs work and outputs resources without ever needing maintenance. Projected anxiety and the mirror of peace. Sometimes the attack on your rest is a result of her own internal chaos. If she cannot relax, she cannot allow you to relax either. If she is constantly anxious about productivity, your calm feels like a judgment of her. Your peace becomes a mirror, showing her her own inability to be still. Instead of dealing with her own anxiety, she tries to fix the mirror by breaking your peace. If she can get you as stressed and busy as she is, she feels normal again. The provider robot programming. This programming runs deep in our culture. You are taught from childhood that your value is what you do, not who you are. You are a utility. When a utility stops working, it is broken. When you need downtime, you are seen as defective. This is why some women use children as weapons against male rest. How can you relax when your kids need you, she asks. But in most cases, the kids are fine. They are playing, they are safe, they are happy. She is just using them as a moral high ground to attack your peace. Your rest is reframed as bad parenting, even if you are an excellent father. Weekend warfare, the perpetual job. For many men, the job never ends, it just changes locations. Friday night, you think you will finally recover. But by Saturday morning, she has a list. By Sunday afternoon, there are emergencies. By Monday morning, you are more exhausted than you were on Friday. The weekend is not for recovery. It is for unpaid labor. This is the weekend warfare that keeps men in a state of perpetual depletion. You are never allowed to reach a state of full charge. You are always running on 10% battery, just enough to keep the lights on, but never enough to actually thrive. Reclaiming the right to rest. Men are starting to wake up to this. They are setting non-negotiable boundaries about their rest. They are refusing to feel guilty about taking a nap or playing a game, and the reaction from some partners is pure panic. Exhausted men are controllable, but rested men have the energy to demand change. They have the clarity to see the exploitation. They have the strength to say, no more. Your rest is not a luxury. It is a survival requirement. Any partner who begrudges you that rest does not have your best interests at heart. They are looking at you as a resource to be mined, not a human to be loved. Someone who truly loves you wants you to be healthy. They want you to be rested. They want you to be the best version of yourself, and they know that version requires downtime. The biological necessity. We have to stop ignoring the biological reality because it is politically incorrect. Men have different stress responses and recovery needs. Ignoring these needs does not make them go away. It just makes the consequences more severe. Men need rest, period. It is not up for debate. It is not a privilege. It is a fundamental human requirement for the male physiology. Heart disease, stroke, and mental breakdowns are the price men pay for never being allowed to be still. Is your partner's comfort worth your life? The solution: radical boundaries. The solution is simple but difficult: boundaries. You have to be willing to say, I will rest, and that is not negotiable. My relaxation is necessary for my health. I do not need permission to recover. Your anxiety about my rest is your issue to manage, not mine. These are not cruel or cold statements. They are survival requirements for the modern man. You have to be willing to weather the guilt trips, the sighs, and the manufactured crises. You have to show her that your peace is a fortress that she cannot breach with her drama. Over time, a partner who truly values you will adapt. They will learn to respect your space. But a partner who is only there for the labor extraction will escalate. And that escalation is your signal that it is time to move on. The relationship test. This is the ultimate test of a relationship. Does your partner protect or attack your rest? Do they create space for your recovery, or do they fill every moment with demands? The answer tells you everything you need to know about whether you are in a partnership or a labor camp. It tells you whether you are loved for who you are or used for what you provide. Men deserve rest, not because they have earned it, but because they are human beings. The shame ends now. No more apologizing for the Sunday nap. No more justifying your hobbies. No more treating your peace like a crime. Conclusion: the power of stillness. The future belongs to men who understand the power of stillness. Men who refuse to be worked into an early grave. Men who choose partners that support their humanity, not just their utility. Rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the clarity that brings revelation, and revelation is what brings change. So, this Sunday, when the sighs start and the pots begin to bang, stay on the couch. Protect your peace, because your life depends on it. Your sanity requires it, and you matter more than your productivity. I want to hear from you. How do you protect your rest? What has been the reaction when you set these boundaries? Share your stories. Let us normalize the idea that a man's peace is his own, and no one has the right to steal it. See you in the next one.